going to get to my boy Philly.500. He's got to run today, but I wanted to get him on. And I'm going to ask him right out of the gate about Doug Peterson and what we were just talking about. Let's bring my boy Philly.500 in here. Brother, I appreciate you having time for me here, man. Hey.
Oh, anytime for you. Were you kidding?
I threw this out there just a couple minutes ago. So Doug Peterson, probably one of the best eras and greatest eras in Eagle football. Couple division titles, NFC title, Super Bowl. Okay, he did it there. Wins a division title in Jacksonville. Has turned Trevor Lawrence around. Could possibly be in the AFC title game this year. Is this guy elite?
Is he elite? That's a great question.
You think he's a better coach than Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, I don't know about, I won't necessarily say X and O's because I think who he has as coordinators play a big part in it, but he obviously gets his players to play for him. They like him. And I think that's a very important thing. You have to have players that buy into what you're saying and actually go out and play for you. So on that level, I do think he is. I mean, if you look at what he did in Jacksonville last year, I thought it was a hell of a turnaround, and to have that team go down by as much as they did and to keep those guys' heads in the game to come back with one of the great comebacks in playoff history. I do think I would put him as elite. I think Doug probably, I didn't think he deserved to get fired when he got fired from the Eagles.
I want to tell you this. If he wins another division title, Philly, and he continues to put that team in contention every year, he puts a couple more years. Okay, so he'll win a couple division titles in Philly. He'll win a couple division titles in Jacksonville. I got to tell you, man, he's putting a Hall of Fame resume together.
Could be. I mean, if he can win a Super Bowl, especially. I mean, how many? I forget what the record is, but how many coaches have won Super Bowls in multiple places?
I'm trying to hear.
I don't know. I don't know of any. Not off the top of my head, I don't know of any that went to multiple teams and won Super Bowls. I could be missing somebody, but
I think you're right. I can't think of anybody that won a Super Bowl at multiple places. Tony Dungy didn't win it in Tampa.
No.
Won it in Indy. Shanahan, no. I mean,
I don't know.
Joe Gibbs, no.
Seifert, no.
Andy Reid, no.
No, Andy didn't. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know of any coaches. I mean, maybe there's one or two way back when, but I can't think of any. So I think that if he can do that, then you definitely can say I think he's a good coach. I do. I think he's up there. I think he's top 10 coach, definitely.
Let's get to the birds here. Who do you believe in that building at the NovaCare Center the Eagles are expecting more from, Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter?
I think you have to say Jordan Davis, right? I mean, Jordan Davis is going in his second year. He's a first-round pick also. So you expect him to make a dramatic jump in year one. I always look at the rookies, when they come in, I always kind of see that as the starting point. Okay, let's find out where this guy is, and then let's see where he has to go. So I always like to see that year one. So I look at Jordan Davis last year as that was his starting point. Now let's see what he can do. And Jalen Carter overall in the long term, I think, definitely his expectations are higher. But I think going into this season, it has to be on Jordan Davis.
Because I think, and I believe you're right, and I think you're going to get a honeymoon here with Carter. And with Davis, he's got to kind of make his identity here. We have to find out who he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
We still really don't know. He's in a different role now, obviously. And we got to kind of find out who this guy is. So I do agree with you on this. Now,
well, I'll tell you this, Sills. I'll tell you this real quick about him. I think half of his battle is his conditioning. I think if he's conditioned, I think that's half the battle with him. And he looks like he's lost weight. You saw that picture I sent you. The guy looked great. Yeah.
No, I'm with you here. Hey, there was a comment the other day that came out of Eagle Camp, and they were talking about Jalen Hurts making that next step. And this is what I said. If you guys are looking at statistics and numbers, 4,000 K or this and that, he's never going to be any of those guys. However, he's going to be a better version of him.
Mm-hmm.
His decision making, getting better, continuing. Because again, the style of play, Philly, that's not a 4,500 yard passing per season style of play.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3,700. It's 800 rushing. It's 10 rushing touchdowns. It's 25 quarterback throws for touchdowns. That's who he is. But we'll look at what he did last year. I've never seen this before, Philly, where you had a guy did throw for 4K and had 2 wide receivers over 1,000 yards. I've never seen that. I mean, so isn't it about him being an even better decision maker and improving on more of who he is?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I think, being a better decision maker, but I also think, playing and seeing everything is a big thing too, right? Like seeing it and recognizing things. I think all that comes with playing. But I mean, what are we really talking about statistic wise with this guy? I mean, he had a lot of touchdowns, right? They were not all passing, but he still had a lot of touchdowns. I do think with guys like Jalen Hurts, and I said this about Randall Cunningham, and then you look at Steve Young. I think guys that can run a lot early in their careers, to have long careers, I think they have to dial it back. So I think you're going to see a point in time come where his rushing numbers go down, but his passing numbers go up. So maybe he throws 35 touchdowns and he doesn't have 800 yards on the ground. Maybe he has 8 touchdowns rushing instead of 12 or whatever. But I think you have to do that to keep him long term. I think that most good quarterbacks, especially the ones that have been around in the league for a long time, that ran a lot early in their career, I think they have to dial it back as they get older. So I think 4,000 yards can happen. I think 35 touchdown passes can happen, especially when those running numbers come down.
What is going to be tougher to replace, the running back or the right guard?
See, with Stoutland, I think Stoutland's such a great coach.
1,300 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns for the back. That's a lot of yardage, man. And
it's a lot of yards.
According to Kelsey, you have one of the best and smartest players that he ever played with, Isaac Seumalo.
Yeah, it probably, in my opinion, I think they got the guys to replace the rushing numbers right now. So to me, I would say the guard spot would be the bigger question, because you got Cam Jurgens. Can he make that transition? Or somebody like Steen, is Steen going to be the guy that wins the job? I would say right guard.
Chris Sims has Jalen Hurts. And by the way, top of the hour, I'm doing my top 32 quarterbacks myself in the NFL. He came out with Hurts.
Loopy Chris Sims? All right.
At number 7. What's your take on that?
Yeah, if he's 7, you probably have to multiply it by like double, you know what I mean? Because anything he says is usually pretty bad. So if he has him at 7, then that means Hurts is definitely.
He's got Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert ranked ahead of him.
I don't see how you can. I don't see how you can say that. I think that. Yeah, I just don't think the guy likes Jalen Hurts. I mean, I just don't think he likes him. So if he has him at 7, then Hurts is definitely top 4.
So wait a minute now. You think, again, I think this comes down to 1 year. How in the world can you put a guy in the top 10 or in the top 5 who's played 1 season?
Well, I'd have to see his list, but obviously, if you're talking about based upon what they did last year, you have to put him top 4, right?
Okay.
But if you're talking, see, I think this gets into the difference of.
So we're not talking about legacy here. We're talking about what you're coming off of. Okay.
Right, what you're coming off. That's how I take it. But if you're talking about the word elite, that means you have to put back to back years on paper, and then you can say that. But I take it, because he does this every year, I take it as a 1 year thing.
I think that's a great observation, because you're right. It is. The list changes every year, and if guys like Aaron Rodgers can go up and down on that list, obviously it's an annual thought process on where, and that's, hey, if you put Geno Smith high up on your list, and Geno Smith has been a dog for 12 years, so it is an annual thing. And so if you got to go by that, who had a better season last year, Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I happen to agree. All right. I'm going to get you out of here real quick here. Let me ask you this one here. Dak Prescott is 8-3 versus the Philadelphia Eagles in his career. As a matter of fact, the Seattle Seahawks since 2000 are 8-3 versus the Eagles. Which one of these two teams here are going to be the tougher game for the Eagles? Seattle? And I believe you have to go to Seattle, too, this year to play that game. Is it going to be the Cowboys, or is it going to be the Seahawks?
There ain't no way I'm saying the Cowboys. It's going to be Seattle. Look, Seattle, we have to, for whatever reason, we have a problem beating Seattle in Seattle. It's been a weird thing. I think that's the harder matchup. Dak Prescott, he blew his load. Think about it, Sills. They talk about the great record he has in the division. He's got no multiple division championships. He's never gotten out of the second round. He dealt with teams that were, bad at the time. Washington bad, Giants bad, Eagles kind of up and down transitioning. Now he's dealing with the Eagles that are a powerhouse. I think his window is closing, and he didn't take advantage of his opportunity when he had a chance.
He's 2-4 actually in the playoffs.
Yeah, he stinks.
He stinks.
He stinks. Listen,
he stinks.
Somebody said this to me, that he reminds them of McNabb. And I'm like, that I kind of can see that, really just underachieve in the playoffs. It's true.
McNabb and Dak.
Yeah.
I
can kind of see it. Yeah.
I'm going to steal that from you.
It's not mine. Somebody pointed it out to me.
I had to win a ball game with one of those two stiffs, I'm picking Dak, because I think that.
Well, if I think
Donovan McNabb was a horrible leader.
If I'm having a throw-up contest, I'm taking McNabb.
All right. By the way, real quick here too, man. This is the last one here. So there's some idiots out there that don't understand the formula for Hard Knocks. The Eagles don't have to do it. There is no ineligible team. There's no such thing. It's not in the bylaw. They don't have to. They can. HBO came to them. They go, no, we're not interested. And it's cool because they don't meet some of the criteria. All that being said, would you want to see the Eagles on Hard Knocks?
Yes. I know some people say, well, look at the teams that have been on it, their record. But I have been wanting the Eagles to be on that thing since the first season. And I would love to stream that every week and watch it. I can't get enough football, during that time of year. So I personally, on a personal level, I would absolutely love it. Just stay off the Madden cover. And we're good.
Oh, that's Wednesday. What if your boy Hurts makes it?
That's bad. I totally buy that curse. I do. I believe in it. I don't want him on it. But,
so you believe in the Maloik?
I do. Yeah. I can't help it. I'm super.
I want to show you this on the way out. Remember this. See, I can never point this in the direction of a human being. It's called the Maloik. And see, when you throw the Maloik like this at somebody, and I only pull it out when I really need to drop some really bad juju on somebody.
Right.
Okay. I got the Maloik here, and it's like one of those twigs of a water geyser, and it moves itself like this towards the bad people here. So I when I throw the Maloik like that, I gotta always be careful that no one's in the room there like that.
Yeah.
So you believe in the Maloik?
I do, yeah. I mean, look at Jerry Jones. He's 5,012 years old, hasn't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. I think he's been cursed, and I think that's why Dallas won't sniff a Super Bowl for another 50 years.
Tell me he doesn't look like the guy from Poltergeist.
He does. He looks like you remember Star Wars Emperor Palpatine with his lightning? That's Jerry
Oh,
Jones.
Vader's guy.
Yeah. That's who he looks like.
Hey,
5,015 years old.
All right, brother. Hey,
All
thank
right,
you
man.
so much,
Thank
man.
you.
I appreciate you coming
Appreciate
aboard.
you. Thank you.
You got it, man. That's my boy, Philly.500. We'll continue here. Hey, by the way, Steve, thank you so much for coming aboard. Make sure you also do me a favor and check out Philly.500's podcast there. Well, here, let me expand on that. Let me expand on what we asked Philly.500 here. Who do you think the Eagles are going to be expecting more from this year? Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis? Well, here, the fans. Who are the fans expecting more of? I'm probably expecting more Jordan Davis myself, because I got to find out who he is. You know, we got to kind of find out what he is and who he is. Because right now we don't know. Tone says Davis easily. Yeah, because you know why? Hey, I think Carter gets the honeymoon, right? He gets the honeymoon treatment. He gets the honeymoon. I'm good with it, right? The other question we asked, tougher to replace. From that one, I'm going to start doing this. Questions I ask my guests, I'm going to ask you. By the way, tomorrow, Merrill Reese is going to join us, and so is John McMullen. Tougher to replace the right guard in Sayamalo or the running back? Jordan Davis was overdrafted. Always will be. He's not an every down guy right now. How you doing? Hey, keep willing it. Hey, Arthur, keep willing it. I like it, dog. Don't let Big Sills change your mind. Okay? Don't let him change your mind. Right guard. Right guard, you think is going to be more difficult to replace? I agree, too. I don't think you could just plug and play a dude that's never played the position in the NFL and just think you're just going to put a guy in there and that's just going to end up working like that. But I do also think you got a bunch of guys. Do we agree the Eagles have more talent probably in the running back room this year than they did a year ago? I'll concede that. But you got an even bigger question mark with the room because these guys are made of paper mache. You got guys back there that can't get through a season. Okay? And more so with Penny than with DeAndre Swift. Okay? Swift, I'm going to kind of give last year, I'm going to kind of give him a pass for last year. But traditionally, it's been Penny, obviously. Penny can't stay healthy. This guy's a broken down car. He's a broken down car. And you're going to say that those two guys, along with who? What's that guy's name? Kenneth Gainwell? Okay. He's a dude. Are going to have 1,300 yards of total rushing offense, and they're going to have over 11 touchdowns. You really believe that? I do not believe that. Okay? I do not. I think that Swift has a chance to have, I think me and Tone are talking 800 yards rushing, 400 yards receiving, something like that. And you could probably put the 1,300 yards together that way. Sure, okay. But for a pure rusher of 1,300 yards, you're not going to have any back in that backfield put together 1,300 yards rushing. Okay? That's not going to. Tony goes, believe it, Dan. Why would I believe it when I don't see it? Rashad Penny, in 5 years, has 11 starts. He's played no games the last 2 years, or limited games. Hey, did you see him in that 3-game stretch? Great. He was really great in that 3-game stretch, Sills. Did you see it? Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, he's the best back in the game for 3 games. Now you sound like Skip Bayless. Hey, did you see Baker Mayfield for 8 games? Unbelievable. Yeah, what about the other 60 that he sucked out loud? 6 yards a pop, 3 starts. This guy averages 2 starts a year. 6 yards a carry. What does that get you? As my friends in South Philly would say, ungats. Look it up. It's Italian. Not allowed to swear. Oh, by the way, man, my top 32 NFL quarterbacks will be released at the top of the hour. And some of them are kind of in line with Chris Sims, but some are not. So that will be at the top of the hour. Okay? Sills, the honeymoon period in Philly will last until week 4. That's when you'll say Carter was overdrafted. Dude, so you think, Bob, that Jordan Davis had a good year last year when you had to go get 2 guys off the ice cream stand because of injuries, or maybe more so that he was fat and out of shape? Jordan Davis was fat and out of shape last year. Yeah, but he'll be in better shape this year. It looks it. Hey, everybody looks good in helmets and shorts, though, don't they? Look like Superman out there. Running around. Crazy great. Fast, quick. Shows a double move, man. Arm rip, Bull rush. Got all that shit going, man. He looked good, dude. Helmets and shorts, Probably don't even have to wear a jockstrap when you're out there. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Looks good. Okay. Well, was Trey Lance overdrafted? Trey Lance was drafted, period. I mean, Trey Lance. Woo, baby. Holy cow. By the way, I voted for the Hall of Fame last night. And here, before I get into my top 10 pass rushers here, Philadelphia, you're welcome. Look, I have to go to my phone because I don't know how to work the internet that great. But I voted for the Hall of Fame and I put an eagle in. And I get a vote on the College Football Hall of Fame. Can you believe that? Big Sills, can you believe it? That I get a vote on the Hall of Fame? So I voted for Jerome Brown. Guy named Brad Culpepper, played at Florida. He's a friend of mine. Warwick Dunn, Larry Fitzgerald, Dan Hampton, Craig Hayward, Ironhead, Steve Hutchinson, Marshawn Lynch, Ken Norton Jr., Dewey Selman, Darren Smith, and another Eagle, Michael Vick. And I voted for Michael Vick. Imagine that. Michael Vick in prison, murdering animals. Did his time. How's he not in the Hall of Fame already? Michael Vick was electric in college. Okay? He was electric. How is he not in the Hall of... Oh, I know why. Because some people don't believe you could pay a debt to society and don't believe in rehabilitation. I happen to believe in that. So Michael Vick is clean with me. Hey, do I forget that? No. But see, this is the difference between me and some of you. You'll hold that shit against him for the rest of his life. I hold it to an extent, too, against what he did to those poor animals. Dude, you should see my house. I got animals everywhere. And I'm a total animal guy. I like animals more than I like people. But he did his time. Leavenworth, too. Wow. Did his time in Leavenworth. Came out. Works with PETA. Doing all the right things. By the way, his leadership that he showed with the Eagles with that Riley Cooper thing showed me what truly kind of teammate he really is too. In my opinion, I think Michael Vick is rehabilitating his reputation and who he is. So to me, I gave him my vote and I voted for him for the Hall of Fame. He gets my vote. I had people actually texting me last night, how could you vote for Vick? Easy. I had no problem with it. Must be a guy who is a PGA fan. and one of them guys, them holier than thou guys. I think Vick, you know what the greatest thing ever happened to Michael Vick? He went to Philly. You see what people go, and they go like this, Sills, 4 games is all Jalen Carter gets. That's probably so in Philly. Other places you probably get a little more time. In Philly, you ain't getting more than 4 games. You got to show up and play out, and you got to step into the light, dog. Absolutely. Chris goes, you talk shit on McNabb because he's a loser leader. Okay? He's a loser leader. Oh, we're talking football? Michael Vick is a way better leader than McNabb. Did you see Deshaun get that honor for the Pro Bowl? He didn't deserve it. He's on your freaking team. What a shitbag. You kidding me? T.O. ruined the team. Well, fix it, dude. You're the leader of the team. Fix it. Not me. He's the guy. Philly hate him. He's a wide receiver. They're all divas. Personally, the wide receiver position, everyone in the league today is T.O. I don't agree. I'm sure you don't. On the McNabb camp, now he's coming back to you with his head down and his hand out because he took a shit on you for all the years he quarterbacked in Philly. I have no respect for that guy. A zero. Kind of human being he is. Your job as a quarterback is to get along with murderers if the organization puts them in your locker room. Ask Tom Brady. If you put a guy who beat the shit out of his kid with a stick, your job as a quarterback is to make sure that guy plays and performs to the best of his ability. Adrian Peterson. If a guy's accused of beating his girlfriend, Tyreek Hill, pregnant, your job as a quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs is to make that guy play and make that guy productive if the organization puts him in that room. That's your job. That's why you're paid $50 million, dude. Okay? That's why you're paid $50 million. That's your job. Not to moan, cry, and throw up before games. Okay? This guy needed a bottle of Pepto-Bismol before he played in the Super Bowl. Jesus, criminy guy. You should have drank some courage. All right. Let's do the Big Sills top 10 pass rushers. Okay? Top 10 pass rushers in the NFL today. Hey, real quick, where would you put Hassan Reddick? He's on this list. Where would you put? Hey, Chris, I've talked about Donovan McNabb enough. I don't talk about guys like that usually. Honestly. 4, 8, 5. Okay. Top 2. Okay, here we go. Tone, where would you put Reddick? I'm interested in this. Where would you put Reddick? Look at Maniac. Haven't seen you, Maniac. You must be hiding out somewhere. Big Sills must have hurt your feelings a little bit. It's okay. Welcome back, son. Appreciate you coming back here, Maniac. Thank you for coming back. I know you probably been crying about something I said. It's okay. Wheels has got him at 6. All right, here we go. Big Sills top 10 NFL pass rushers. I got this kid Hendrickson. Bengals at 10. 36.5 sacks in 3 years. You'd never know he plays in Cincinnati. He's a heck of a ball player. I mean, and maybe one of the most underrated players. Okay? Maybe one of the most underrated players in the NFL. Strictly pass rush. Strictly pass rush. Really great pass rush here. Number 9. I have Brian Burns, Panthers. 64 games, 38 sacks. I love the way this kid plays the game. I think this kid has everything and all the intangibles, and he's only 25 years old on turning himself into a superstar. I didn't see this really at Florida State, but this guy's turned into a really fine ball player. I love this kid. Number 8. Tell me if you make this here. Number 8. I've got Joey Bosa at number 8. 60.5 sacks. He's 27 years old. I like Joey Bosa at number 8. At number 7, this is probably a little low, but he's coming off an injury. I got Aaron Donald at number 7. Number 6, Max Crosby. Raiders, 25 years old. He's got 37 sacks already. At number 5, from the Philadelphia Eagles, Hassan Reddick, 16 sacks last year. And I will tell you this. I'll make this concession to you guys. You ready? He's probably the best athlete on this list. Number 4, Micah Parsons. 26.5 sacks. He's 23 years old. Number 3, Nick Bosa, 49ers. 51 games, 43 sacks. Kid's productive, and he's the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Number 2 is Myles Garrett. Spectacular player. He just plays in Cleveland. He's a tremendous player. In 84 games, Myles Garrett has 74.5 sacks. That's production. That's living up to expectations and being one of the best sack guys that the league has seen in a long time. And number 1, I got get this. TJ Watt was injured last year, right? He was injured last year. 77 sacks in 87 ball games. This guy's a Hall of Famer. Okay? Okay? Hey, Maniac. I'm sorry. Okay? Hassan was invisible in the Super Bowl. Well, he wasn't invisible in the NFC title game. Chicken wing turdy, man. He took it on the schneid. Hey, seriously, this year, man, at Lincoln Financial, it's turdy wings for all. Hey, let's get some turdy wings. Yeah. Turdy wings. Yeah. Von Miller, 35 years old, not working. I want some really young studs, man, to rush the passer, Junior. That's what I'm looking at. Come on, Maniac. Come on. Maniac's in the room, so everyone talk a little bit softer because, you know, he likes them soft-spoken Philly guys that pump. Way to go, team. I can't believe what a great player Jalen Hurts is. Man, I can't believe somebody would put Lamar Jackson ahead of him. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why would they do that? Because Jalen played 1 year of good ball. Yeah, but he's not better. I tell you what, I think Philly.500 hit on it, though. You know, Chris Sims' lists are annual. So he's coming off of what he did a year ago. So how could you put Lamar ahead of him? I think there's some I think there's a valid take there to that. I think that's a valid take. Well, Seals, we're not talking about careers. We're talking about what a guy's coming off of and what he did a year ago. So if you're really going to put a list together, how could Sims put Lamar? Okay, I'm going to do my top 32 quarterbacks. Dude, seriously. Dan, so Hurts is going to be trash this season? I never said that. Find me a show where I said that. I never at any time said that. He's number one. I bet. All right. Hour number 2. The Big Sills top 32 NFL quarterbacks. In honor of Chris Sims' top 40, I don't give a shit about backups. Top 32 quarterbacks. I'm going to do that next. Where does – oh, by the way, Chris Sims had him 7. Where will I put Hurts? We'll do that next. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.